Welcome to At Home with Music, and this is Leon Olguin. And recently, one of my subscribers asked me if At Home with Music was created during COVID. And I replied, yes, it was. It was created during the height of the lockdown period. And at some point, I will tell my story and tell the story of how this thing came to be. And that time is now. During the height of the lockdown, our church was not able to meet in person, and so we presented pre-recorded services online. We couldn't live stream because we were meeting at a school, and of course the school building was closed as well. And so to help encourage the other members of the music team, of which I was a member, still am a member, I began sending out a daily email with some words of encouragement for the musicians, for the staff, and anybody else that wanted to be a part of that daily email. And eventually I called it Music for Today. And I started sharing pieces of music that I found interesting or beautiful or encouraging or just moving, and I wanted to share that with the people on this email list. And eventually I started including biographical details and things about the composers and about the background of the piece they wrote and about the historical background surrounding those particular compositions. I featured songwriters that I knew, composers that I admired, and obscure composers, women composers, Western music, Eastern music, anything that I thought might be interesting. And later on, I found out that one of my fellow musicians, a fellow member of the worship team at our church, who was a homeschool teacher, was using these daily emails as part of the music curriculum for her homeschool. She was using them to teach her children about music and composers and their great works and so on. And it got me to thinking, what if I could help other homeschool families in this way? I thought maybe there are homeschool teachers out there who would like to teach their children about music and maybe even how music works, a little bit of music theory, but they felt that they didn't know enough to do that. Well, I've been a homeschool teacher, or I was a homeschool teacher back in the 90s for 5 years. I homeschooled our daughter personally through middle school and then first couple of years of high school. Then she went on to finish high school in public school, went on to college and got her degree and so on. And I thought maybe I can be of help to homeschool teachers who want to teach music. So I thought maybe I should start a YouTube channel directed toward homeschool families to help homeschool teachers teach their children music, even if they're not a musician. I brought this idea to my friend, my fellow worship team member, and she thought it was a great idea. And I also talked to some other homeschool teachers that I know, and they also expressed their great enthusiasm for this idea. So I started trying to think of what I could call it, and eventually came upon the name At Home with Music. And I enlisted the help of my good friend BJ from California to help me design the website and to design the YouTube channel. And if you go and take a look at it, well, of course you are taking a look at it because you're there. As you can see, she did a marvelous job, and I really love the way it looks, and I'm very grateful to her. So that's why At Home with Music exists. I know that dedicated homeschool teachers want their students to have a well-rounded education, and that education includes studying music. You can go back through my series of videos on the benefits of music education, and you'll find out how deeply I believe in music being a part of a student's education, whether they be in public school or in homeschool. So it doesn't matter if you're not a musician. You can teach your child music, and that's the reason that At Home with Music exists. You'll be able to teach them music history and talking about various famous composers and their famous works. You'll even be able to teach them the basics of keyboard in the beginnings of music theory. You can check out my series on music basics if you'd like more information. Well, anyway, that's basically the story of At Home with Music. And as part of this series of videos, specifically for you, the homeschool teacher, I'll be sharing more about my belief that music can be an important part of your homeschool curriculum. and I'll show you different ways that you can inspire your students and different ways that I can help you in that regard. So thanks for watching. I encourage you to like and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any comments or any questions, please be sure to let me know in the comment section down below.